Once upon a time, there was a little boy called Howard who loved writing stories.
Little Howard dreamed of being a writer, and so he sat and wrote every night. But everything he wrote was fucking shite, yeah. Wubba-dubba-doo, wubba-dubba-doo. Worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world. He's a stupid, suck-ass, rubbish writer.
Welcome to the worst writer in the world with me, Rufus, and who's that hiding in the apple tree?
Hello.
It's Howard Long.
Hey! I've been thinking about these things you do at the start where you say something about men and how they're completely meaningless, and I'm wondering what's going on in your mind when you think of them.
What's going on is panic, because I suddenly realised that I should have prepared something, and yet again I forgot. That was a lyric from an old David Bowie song. Anyway, thank you to the British Comedy Guide for hosting this show. Thanks to every single one of our lovely patrons on Patreon for supporting this show. And thanks to you, Howard, and others for listening to this show.
Yay!
So do you remember what happened last week in Collider, this Collider story?
Actually, in the plot...
Yeah, I mean, we went to B World.
That's right.
That was the big thing last week. Is we went to a place called
B World, where a man called Lacan likes pointing out the big ones.
Pointing, look at the big one.
Yeah.
Hey, look, another big one.
So,
that's my favourite. In this whole script, that is my favourite bit.
That's a good bit.
Lacan pointing at the big ones.
Yeah, and you don't want Lacan to point out that you're big, because that means you're going to get shot in the back of the head.
Yeah, I mean, even if that weren't the result, I wouldn't want Lacan pointing at me going, look at that big Rufus, he's quite the big one. Go and get him for me. Yeah, there was no point in that. At no point, even before I found out that they were going to get lined up and shot, there was no point when I felt that was okay. That whole Lacan thing. It never felt good.
Really? Well, when they were keeping all those children in basically in cages and then marching them out in the morning, you didn't think that was a
work
nice
and then shooting some of them?
Yeah. So we meet brand new main character, don't we? Pony and her brother Moosey, who unfortunately
My Little Pony and Ian Moosey was what they were called, right?
But Ian Moosey dies,
he is now dead.
And Pony almost dies, but she is saved on B World by Donald Children. That's what happened last week. Yeah. So he's on B World. So he didn't go to hell. I guess he did, actually. If hell is loads of children getting shot in the back of their head, then that is where Donald Children went.
Sounds pretty hellish. Yeah. But it turns out in this script he actually went to a place called B World. I believe we also saw Penny and Carl escaping.
Yes.
Right? Penny and Carl escaping from the World Heritage Centre after Penny witnessed a murder of a falling man, and that falling man told her to find my father. His name's Donald Children.
Yes.
And she took that seriously for some reason. But, I mean, now she's running away from murderers.
Yes, because she's been framed for killing that falling man.
Yeah, but she's gone to London to look for Donald Children, right? And that's where we left her, on the search for Donald Children. So let's get back to the script and find out how she's getting on with it, shall we?
Yes, please.
Okay, so Penny is looking for Don Childs, also known as Professor Donald Children, all right? Because that guy who got shot in front of her on the roof, just before he died, he said, "Find my father, Professor Donald Children." Those were his dying words.
Yeah.
So now she's got to find him. She's discovered what university he works at, and she has gone to that university. So now we get a couple of establishing shots of the university.
Brilliant.
And a shot of Penny asking students for directions. So we get the idea that she's at a university, she's looking for Donald Children. Right. and then cut to the Queen's Arms, a bar in Kensington. Penny steps in and then takes a brief tour of the inside of this small pub, but Don Childs is not here. It's pretty empty, save for a couple of student lovers. And that's hyphenated, so it's people who love students. And in one dark corner, a bearded man in shades is nursing a glass of whiskey and the bottle. Penny approaches the bar. What can I do you for? I'm actually looking for someone. Professor Childs? Sure, he's right there. She points to the man in the corner. He's incognito. He always sits in the corner over there and says, "Don't tell anyone I'm here, will you?" So I don't tell anyone. Anyway, that's him, just over there. Go and put here. Do you want a gun? Do you need a gun? What? No, not really. Oh, you thought you might want to murder him. Okay. Just trying to be helpful. No, none of that happens. Sure, he's right there. She points to the man in the corner. And then Penny goes, "Thanks." But I'm not sure why.
Because that's not Don Childs.
Okay. No, it says Penny walks over to Archie. So is this like the beginning of, what's that really terrible movie?
It's definitely like that, yeah.
I didn't mean that. That may have come across more insulting than I intended it to.
No, I'm really sorry.
The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen with Sean Connery in it. It's like one of the worst movies that anyone's ever made, ever.
I saw some of it,
It's so bad. But the way Sean Connery is introduced in that is like, whoever's like put in the superhero team of characters from good stories who are being really misrepresented, right?
Yeah.
Which is what that film's about. It's like some classic characters who have been made really, really dull. And Sean Connery, because he isn't one, right? It's like all these, isn't it? All these people who are like, it's like Mr. Hyde and fucking Dracula or whatever, and then Sean Connery.
Yeah, he's playing himself.
But he's like some kind of colonial murderer or something, and he's in Africa.
Right.
And whoever's putting the team together turns up at this bar in Africa and does this. He's like, I'm looking for Sean Connery. And the bar owner, he's that bloke over there, and points to someone who's not Sean Connery. And he goes over and talks to him a bit. And then after he's said a few sentences, the guy sitting behind him, who really, really obviously is Sean Connery because he's got his face, turns around and goes, "Oh, actually, I'm Sean Connery." And it's that kind of thing where he's using this other guy to get rid
shot
of,
instead of him.
to get rid of people he doesn't want to speak to.
Right, so.
Although then there is a massive shootout. So it turns out
that's not like this, because Don Childs is in B World, where he just knocked a soldier on the back of the head and saved that young girl's life.
Okay, so this guy's not like a representative of Don Childs who's getting rid of the bad people, naughty people.
This is not Don Childs at all. This is another Professor Childs.
Oh, okay. So she asked for Professor Childs. Okay, I see. Okay. All right, so Penny walks over to Archie. Archie is hunched over his whiskey. He's like an injured bear. He's like,
Finally, those Japanese finally got them going back.
I remember the days when I used to follow people around London and murder Japanese people. And then they caught on and started carrying crossbows. Oh, now I've got a load of arrows in my face. It's really bad. And I've never been the same ever since Will killed himself. Ever since he willed himself. As I like to call it, undo. Anyway, good bear impression, Rufus. Thank you.
Yeah, it was all right.
Let's hear your bear impression.
Would you like some honey?
Yours might have the edge on being funny, but mine was accurate.
Mine was child-friendly bear. Yours was a bit sinister.
Yeah, well, mine was the adult bear. We're doing adult shows.
Oh, right. Okay.
If I was doing history, I'd be like, "Oh, my bear, look at my honey." But we're not. We're doing adult content, so it's like, "Oh, my bear, look at my honey." I'm gonna fuck you up. I'm gonna fuck you. I'm gonna fuck you.
I'm gonna lube you up with honey, and then I'm gonna do you. Is that bad?
Yeah, no. So Penny says, "Hi." He half nods.
Yeah, his head just goes up.
His head goes up.
Doesn't quite go down again.
Doesn't complete the nod.
Yeah.
He half nods. She sits herself opposite him.
Would you like a seat, me? Yes, I would. Thank you very much. Can I fetch you any drinks?
This is from the Golden Bus, right?
Yeah.
He seated himself.
Yeah.
And you're still doing it 20 years later in this script. She sits herself.
I'm just trying to make my prose sound interesting.
It's good.
She sits down is just not good enough.
Yeah, well, she sits opposite him would have been fine, but you said no, she sits herself opposite him and offers herself a drink.
Yeah, I did definitely wrote that,
Yeah. Penny says, "I'm Penny. I'm a journalist. I'm looking for Professor Don Childs." Archie takes a sip of whiskey. "Good luck. If there's one thing Don dislikes more than me, it's journalists.
Oh, right.
If there's one thing Don dislikes more than me, it's testicular torture.
So,
right? He's like, actually,
that's number 1, journalists. 2, testicular. No, me. Testicular torture.
No.
Oh.
Testicular torture's worst, all right?
1.
That's number 1. 2, me. Very close second. If you give him a choice between me testicular torture, he has to think about it for about 5 minutes, but then he goes, I'll probably go for me.
Yeah.
Right?
But then I surprise on him, then I torture his testiculars.
And then number 3, journalists. All right? So, there's one thing that Don hates slightly less than me and testicular torture. It's you.
You.
Penny says, so you know him? He's my father. Yeah, Darth Don.
He cut my hand off and I fell down a lift shaft, and Princess Leia had to pick me up. Turns out she's my sister. Anyway, she's tied to Jabba the Hutt now, so...
Yeah, but don't worry, we've got this plan that involves that is really weirdly convoluted. Basically, I'm going to turn up there, right, and I'm going to knock on the door, and then I'm going to get thrown in a hole, right? Yeah. But here's the really clever part of my plan. I've hidden my lightsaber in a bin. Right? Yeah, weren't expecting that, were you, Jabba the Hutt? Thought you were going to throw me in a hole, but I hid my lightsaber in a bin, and the bin spits it at me, right? And then I do a bit of fighting, and a load of people die in the hole, and then Princess Leia kills Jabba the Hutt, and it's a really stupid plan, actually. If you think about that fucking movie for about 5 seconds, the first 30 minutes makes no fucking sense whatsoever. Also, Han Solo. Why don't we just go and buy him or something?
And that's what exactly?
That's my relationship to Don Child.
Oh, right, yeah.
We watched a lot of Star Wars when we were young. No, he's my father. Penny reaches over and removes his shades, revealing bloodshot eyes, but more than this. Despite the pallid skin, the unkempt hair, the beard, this is the falling man. What the fuck? Says Penny, because you're going for that PG rating. Yeah. What the flip?
Getting a tits out.
Woo.
Yeah.
What the woo? She says. He squints at her. No, then she says, what the fuck is this?
Oh, shit.
His eyes adjust to the light. Is this a fucking joke? Is it a hoax? No. That was fucking real. I saw you. Penny is dizzy, sick. She holds her throat. I've no idea what's going on.
She's holding it. Death.
Ditto that. Not the death part, the not understanding part. Me, you, everyone who's listening, Rufus, none of us really have a clue what's going on. I suspect Howard. No one knows what's going on. There's a lot of characters. There's something called Eon, right? There's a parallel
Pretty
world.
sure he's a donkey from Winnie the Pooh.
There's a depressed donkey from Winnie the Pooh that's making solar power, and there's another world that's really
full of bees.
That's full of bees and has been in it once and seems to bear no relation to the story whatsoever. Just suddenly there, and also there's a load of moons. I don't think anyone knows what's going on. But I expect later it's going to make a lot of sense when the witch turns out to be a man. Everything will come together then.
You've been drinking, haven't you?
No. No, glug. Archie pours her a large whiskey, which she immediately downs.
Nice.
She sizes him up.
Really?
Yes.
She gets out tape measures.
1.78 metres.
Yes, we're going to need a big coffin for you.
Yeah, no, what she says is, you're dead. Yeah. Some days pretty much feels that way. I don't know if I'd react that way. Even if I was feeling quite rough, if some strange woman came up to me in a pub and went, you're dead. We're like, yeah, I do feel a bit rough. You're right, I know I probably look quite bad, don't I? Thanks, love, bye. She reaches out and explores his face with her hands. When she finds a bit she likes, she sticks a flag in it.
Yeah. She reaches the cold northern parts. She cools her fingers on his northern head.
Yeah.
Plucks off a few polar bears.
Yeah, then she finds a shed and goes inside, but someone eats her skeleton.
She goes deep sea diving up his nose now. She starts sticking her fingers up his nose, looking for fish.
What are you doing, love? What are you doing? What you doing? I'm just looking for fish up your nose. Right, okay. Well, it was nice to meet you. Gotta go. Places to be. I think you've got me confused with someone else. No, it was you. She takes her hands away.
Oh, right, they're still there. So that's like, I think you've got me confused with someone else.
Yeah, you're right. I'll do it properly.
Yeah, okay.
But miss, I think you've got me confused with someone else. No, it was you. She takes her hands away. You don't have a twin? Well, yeah.
No.
Let me tell you the story, right? Let me tell you the story of my twin. I mean, I used to have a twin when I was a kid, right? We used to run around the fields, and I'd be like, look at my spider hands. You know, you eat 25 spiders every night when you're asleep, right? But then this bloke came round from next door. His name was Mr. Squire, right? Mr. Squire came round from next door, and he was like, "Hi, blokes, can I buy your daughter?" And my mum's like, "No, of course you can't. No, you can't buy my daughter." But my dad was like, "Yeah." How many chickens?
How many chickens can I get
How many
back?
chickens have you got? And then Mr. Squire was like, "I've got 4." And he's like, "That's a great price for a daughter. You take her away." So he did, but I grabbed her. I was like, "Come on, run away quick. Let's lock ourselves in this room." And then I got her to take all her clothes off. That bit in Rapunzel is one of the funniest things in Rapunzel, and we don't pay nearly enough attention to it. Is when you're doing the whole reveal of the twist.
Yeah.
And before you actually do the reveal, you just have a moment where you flash back to 2 naked kids for no reason, right? For no reason at all. Like the witch is going, and Rapunzel had a brother and stuff, and they were identical. And like the thing is, we know they're identical. You've fully established that. And if there's the one thing we don't need to know is that you can tell them apart when they're naked. That doesn't help the story at all. It does, because that's the thing they don't do. Right? Rampion puts her clothes on and keeps them on and refuses to get naked with the squire. So what we need to know is that they are identical when they have clothes on. So what you need to do at that point is not flash back to them standing naked in a bath.
That's true.
You need to flash back to them wearing the same clothes or wearing each other's clothes or something.
Yeah, well,
there's no reason for naked kids. It establishes the exact opposite of what you want.
You want to show them swapping clothes.
Yeah, or wearing the same or something like that. Or just, I think what
him putting the necklace around the other one.
Yeah, you want to show them without the necklace. Yeah. That's what you want to see.
One taking it off and putting it on the other. Simple as
anything like that.
And with a penis out, obviously.
Not with naked 13-year-olds is not necessary. It doesn't help anything. And it's really funny because nothing else happens. It's just they're in the back. They stand up naked, and then you flash back to the present again, and the witch telling her story. Just like, I was just remembering when I was naked with my sister. Okay, back to the story then.
Yeah.
So what really happened was Penny said, "You don't have a twin?" He shakes his head. Not anymore. She died of window disease. I'm freaking out. Look. She points to a flat screen which silently plays the news. A report of the UNESCO murder with a mugshot of Penny. This is a good approach. That's me. I'm going to fucking murder you. Ask me what I did. What did you do? Nothing. I was framed. Ooh. Ask me what for. This is a weird scene, isn't it?
He literally doesn't give a shit. He doesn't want to know her. She's met. No, it's brilliant. She's just some crazy lady who's come over, took his glasses off, told him he's dead, said, "Look, that's me on the TV. Oh, I'm a murderer who's been framed." It's like, yeah, okay, all right. Yeah.
But the weird thing about it, and it's not him. He's actually quite normal in this scene. But it's the fact that it's written like a meet cute, right? It's like it's written like this is the flirty first meeting, and she's the slightly quirky girl character, and he's all like, he's a bit confused, but she's like, "Go on, ask me what I do for a job."
That's true.
All right? She's talking about being a murderer. Go on, ask me how many men I murdered. No, it's not 4.
Yeah.
Yes, 5. That's correct. All right, so we're in a pub with Penny and Archie. She points to the TV to show that she is a murderer. Right?
Yeah.
And then she says,
"There's me murdering someone."
She says, "That's me. Ask me what I did." "What did you do?" "Nothing. I was framed." He nods. "Ask me what for." "What for?" your murder. See that? The news shows a body bag being transported to an ambulance. That's you.
See that body bag? That's you, that is.
Now that's, I mean, if I was experiencing this as Archie, I'd feel like that was a threat. See that body bag on the TV? That's you if you don't do what I say. But no, Archie says, "Trust me, Mum, that is not me."
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay, no, clearly. But look, I know I sound crazy because I can hear me too, but I can prove it. He waits for the proof. I have a video of you being shot.
Ooh.
He waits for this video.
He waits for it.
Penny says, "Okay, had a video. I lost my phone." Yeah, look, I mean, to be honest, a woman just came into the pub, pointed at the TV, where she is on the TV saying she just murdered someone who is in a body bag, and then she says, "Oh, I've got a video of you being shot." Well, I haven't got it. I mean, obviously I haven't got it, but I did have. Anyway, are you nervous yet? Because if you're not, there's something wrong with you.
I've got a book as well. Details it. Well, of course, I don't have a book detailing it.
But I can tell you how how I did do it.
And I've got your corpse in my bag. Of course, I haven't got your corpse in my bag.
But I will have after I murder you. Right.
This is kinky. Do you want to go back to yours or mine?
Oh, no. These two are going to end up doing it, aren't they? I just realised that.
Yes.
These are the male and female leads. They're going to end up doing it, aren't they?
They have to. It's a rule.
It's
the rules.
Because we met Carl early on, and he was immediately established as someone who was not going to get any sex.
Yes.
Right? That was his character from the moment he spoke.
I wrote that part for me, yes.
Yeah. And Penny is the lead character, so obviously she has to have a romantic interest. And this is he's the fucking Han Solo character, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's a bit rough around the edges. He's in a bar drinking.
Yeah, you meet him in a
bar.
He's sat next to that Wookiee.
He just shot a green man. He just trod on Jabba's tail.
That's the best description of Greedo ever. He's like, because I went Wookiee, which shows far too much knowledge about knowing about what Chewbacca is. But saying he's just shot a green man that's perfection, right?
That's what happens. I remember it when I was a kid. Yeah. He shoots a green man, and then George Lucas said, "No, the green man shot him." Actually,
yeah,
that's that story. And we all went, "We didn't care, George." No one. Actually, it turns out some people on the internet really did care, but most of us really didn't. It made no difference.
They did. They got even more confused when Steven Spielberg came in and replaced both Han Solo and Greedo's guns with walkie-talkies. They were like, "What is going on?"
And he replaced Greedo with a walkie-talkie, and then Han Solo shot a walkie-talkie.
Yeah.
We're like, what the fuck? Also, he's still got a gun. That's weird.
Yeah,
but it's all right because he's shooting a walkie-talkie.
It's fine.
So, Penny says, "Okay, had a video. I lost my phone. They erased it from the cloud. I know it sounds convenient."
You lost your phone because they erased it from the cloud. That doesn't sound convenient.
They erased my phone from a cloud.
What was it doing in a cloud?
Am I getting technology right? I've heard some words, but I don't really understand them. They erased my phone on a cloud.
I need Greg to mansplain it for me. I have no idea what's going on. It was called Greg, right?
Greg.
It's Greg.
What's it called? Greg? Who the fuck is Greg?
The guy, Greg.
Greg?
Yeah, Greg.
Who the fucking shit is Greg?
Greg.
Yeah, my name's Greg. I just turned up to mansplain phones for you. No one's heard of me before. Fucking Greg.
The sidekick from the beginning. Greg. What's he called? Greg. Is he not called?
Carl. His name's Carl. Where the fuck did you get Greg from?
He could be called Greg. He seems like a Greg.
He could be called anything. He's a made-up person.
He seems like a Greg, you know. I'm the right. I can redraft names with find and replace any time I like, right? So he's called
You're
Greg
the writer,
now.
so you should know there's no one called Greg. Yeah, anyway, so she starts talking about someone called Greg. And Archie's just sitting there drinking whiskey going, fucking hell. No, she says, I know it sounds convenient.
But Greg stole my phone.
This guy called Greg just walked in and stole my phone and ran off and has had nothing else, no other part in this film whatsoever, except that phone stealing moment. I know it sounds convenient and like I just made Greg up just then.
Greg McReal person. He did it. It was him.
Greg McReal person, I like it. Especially if he is a real person. That's the joke of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, hello, my name's Greg McReal person. And then he's really important to the plan, so she literally can't explain to Archie unless she mentions Greg McReal person by name.
Yeah.
And he's like, yes, now, I know you're not going to believe this. I know this is going to sound like I'm lying, but his name is Greg McReal.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, bye.
Oh, good, yeah.
Anyway, she says, I know it sounds convenient. He says, actually, the opposite. And then Penny says, my tablet. And Archie says, you need to take your tablet?
Mm-hmm. Good.
No, my tablet, my computer. No time for puns. I need to get my fucking computer. Okay. No, you don't understand. It's synced with my phone. Even if it's deleted from the cloud, it'll still be on my tablet. And when I say tablet, I don't mean a particular shape of paracetamol. I mean iPad. And Archie says, okay, again. Penny says, well, you need to see this. And Archie says, maybe another time.
Yeah.
No, you need to come with me now. Needs a pretty strong word, and not one I'm feeling.
Oh, fair enough.
So he's turning her down, but she...
Shit, well, I wouldn't. What I'm saying is I wouldn't.
No, a woman turns up in a pub saying, look, that's me on the TV murdering you.
You see that dead body?
All right,
that's
come with
you.
me, I'm going to murder you again.
Okay. Probably going to get laid. I think we're going to get laid.
If you're planning to murder Howard, he won't be able to refuse being murdered by...
Yeah. Your womanly wiles will have me. You had me at, that's you on the telly, I murdered you. That famous Jerry Maguire line.
You had me at, I'm going to murder you, come with me, please. All right. He says, needs a pretty strong word and not one I'm feeling. She pulls the gun and points it at him. He raises an eyebrow. That's the end of the scene.
Wow.
All right, so Howard, this next scene is going back to B World, and I'm a bit confused. What is B World, and why do we keep having scenes in B World, and who are all these kids, and what's going on?
Well, B World obviously is a wonderful theme park full of bee-related rides, and that's why there's loads of children there, because like children love to go on bee rides, don't they? Oh, I'm going to go on this bee ride
and get shot.
Okay, yeah, maybe not
for being too tall to go on the. It's the opposite at theme parks. Being tall is good at a theme park.
Yeah. So yeah, it's not a theme park then. You've got me. No,
caught you out.
B World is literally what it says on the tin. It is a parallel world. Where
okay, it doesn't say that on the tin. It says B World, and you just said it's not that. All right. So it is not literally what it says on the tin. There's no bees there.
Yeah,
actually, no. it's an alternate reality.
No, not that tin. The tin that says it's an alternate reality. This tin I've got over here. It's another Earth like ours, but one that is currently enslaved for reasons yet unknown.
So it's some kind of oppressive regime in an alternate reality.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
With lots of bees in, probably.
Okay, well let's find out what's going on there. Exterior Scrubland B World. A convoy of buses snake through the wasteland. Rafe Dix is driving them. He has won 36 buses in a casino at a hotel on the M1, and now he's got them tied together and is driving them around B World.
He's got all the way to B World on him. Yeah. My God.
He doubled down, that's what he did. He won his 36 buses, and he's like, let it ride. And now he's got fucking hundreds.
Oh, wow.
If he got we knew that if he got 36 buses, he could get straight to Plymouth.
Yes.
But with 200 buses, B World.
6 times 36.
Straight to B World. He's got so many buses he can traverse dimensions.
That's true. He's got like about 1,000 actually, hasn't he?
Must be more than 1,000
like
buses.
1,100 buses will get you all the way to B World.
in moments. So I'm floating out, where am I? What are all these bees doing
Yeah,
here?
get your buses there in moments. You've still got to walk all the way down your 1,100 buses to get to Bee World. Yeah.
Long walk to Bee World. Like flaming egg. I'm sure I'll be there in a moment, though. Bees!
What was I thinking?
This was the worst idea I've ever had. This is worse than that time I cut my legs off and bet on a roulette wheel trying to win loads of legs and become Spider-Man.
When the travel agent said, "Do you want to go to Bee World or do you want to go to really good lots of money world?" I should have chosen. I chose
poorly.
B. I chose B, but he got confused.
Oh, right. Okay,
He said, A, do you want to go to B World?
Or B.
B.
You want loads of money word. B, take me to B World,
Trick
mate.
me.
Oh, no. So a convoy of buses snake through the wasteland.
Mm-hmm.
From nowhere, a child seemingly rises. Floating child. From nowhere, a child seemingly rises, moving into the road. He carries something behind his back. I've got a bad feeling it's a balloon full of piss. A bad feeling about this.
That's what Rafe would be thinking right about now. Oh, fucking hell.
Oh, no, I've come to B World and it's the same situation.
Show me your hands.
He stands in the middle of the road and the lead bus, that's the one Rafe's driving,
Yeah.
honks its horn but shows no sign of slowing. As it draws closer, the boy takes a set of bolt cutters from behind his back.
Oh, shit.
He applies the jaws to his tagger.
Oh.
Right. I mean, I guess a tagger is a thing, 'cause it's got a capital letter, but he applies the jaws to his tagger. It just sounds like a bunch of sounds. Right? Just a bunch of noises. So what does that mean?
They've got those things around their ankles that blow up.
Oh, so it's like people under house arrest or something. It's like they're electronically tagged.
Yes, but
So the
they're
police
bombs.
know where they are, but they're bombs.
Yeah, so he's a whatchamacallit?
Oh, he's a suicide
He's a
bomber.
suicide bomber.
Oh, okay, I see. So he applies the jaws to his tagger. The driver, realising too late what is happening, brakes. The boy cuts through his tagger. It explodes, wrenching the child in twain. Lovely bit of poetic language for a kid exploding. Wrenching the child in twain and sending the bus crashing onto its side.
Wow.
Immediately, hordes of children armed with rudimentary weapons.
Wow.
Rudimentary weapons. This is my gun. It's made out of clay. This is my grass gun.
My clay gun. Yeah.
Hordes of children armed with rudimentary weapons emerge from the long grass. I mean, that's completely mean of me to laugh at rudimentary weapons. That makes perfect sense. Rudimentary weapons is absolutely a logical phrasing. It's very mean of me to say that means a clay gun. Yeah, absolutely doesn't.
It's like there's grass there now. I was imagining it was all dusty and sandy, but now it's grassy.
Grass
They're
and
hiding
clay.
in the grass.
Yeah,
these
yeah.
kids. The long grass in these wastelands. So it's wending through a overgrown kind of like meadow then.
So the boy just blew up himself and knocked a bus over. Immediately, hordes of children armed with rudimentary weapons.
Wait a second, is this the mystery of the golden bus still? I'm getting confused.
well, it's
Someone
a bit
blew
of a mixture
themselves.
of
It's
the
got
two,
really
yeah.
confusing.
It's the collider of the golden bus.
Right, because it was really fun before, and now people are dying and exploding.
Well, you could always sense it coming in the mystery of the golden bus. When there was always that sense of impending menace.
Menace. Yeah.
I mean, when that robot from the future was stalking around the corridors with their one-man band, that was pretty terrifying.
That's true, yes.
It's
got the face of a robot, and the body of a robot, and the legs of a robot, and the arms of a robot.
the other way around, though, wasn't it?
Oh.
It was she's a cyborg, but she's got a human heart and lungs and liver and legs and arms and head. And actually, she just had a hip replacement.
Got a human's car. You can keep your letters in her. She's a sideboard.
What?
Sideboard.
Letters?
You put your letters in the sideboard, don't you?
Letters?
Yes, we put your letters in the sideboard. Where'd you keep your letters?
I don't have letters.
You don't have a sideboard.
No, but also,
That's because that's
I feel
why.
like that's not their
you don't
main
keep
purpose.
your letters in a sideboard because you have no letters or a sideboard.
I don't know if,
but
like,
if you
in
had
the past-
both, they would be together.
I don't know if in the past people went, Tarquin, we do seem to have a lot of letters. Should we go to the sideboard shop so that we've got somewhere to put them?
Listen, Tarquin and whoever this other guy is,
Sebastian.
They already have a sideboard. They don't need to go to a sideboard
Yes, but
shop.
we've got so many letters now, we need a second
Second sideboard.
Because where else can you put letters?
Well, you can
And
throw
what else
away.
do you put in a sideboard?
After you've run out of room in your sideboard, you start filtering out the letters you don't really
Why
need
isn't
anymore.
if that's what it's for, why isn't it called a letter cupboard?
But that's what a sideboard stands for.
Right, so we're on B World, and an exploding child just blew up a bus.
Ha!
So that was traumatic. Let's find out what's going on with them.
It's the bus I feel sorry for. What did that bus ever do?
Immediately, hordes of children armed with rudimentary weapons emerge from the long grass and attack the people as they spill from the overturned bus. Among their number are Don and Pony. Right, so my pony,
Yeah.
who watched her brother shot, and Donald Children, who saved her life, right?
Brilliant.
The other buses screech to a halt and guards leap out.
Ooh.
The kids are trying to steal transporters, which some of the higher-ranking individuals wear on their wrists. Now the transporters, are they to transport people between realities, from B World to not B World?
Yes, I do believe that Donald Children was wearing one in his first appearance. They are
Because we thought he disappeared into hell, but it turns out he didn't.
No, his watch. He had a little portal watch that he could get the lottery results on, and when he got the right lottery results, he could sink into the ground and go and see some bees. That's my understanding of the story so far.
Well, yeah, he was doing something outside Eon, and then he got the numbers, and then he disappeared, and now he's in B World.
Yes.
And those falling men are also part of this because what seems to be happening is you stand on the ground and you use your transporter and you fall and you appear in another world in the air.
In the air. Yeah.
That's pretty exciting.
That is exciting.
It's like an unfortunate side effect of, like, in most sci-fi, it's like, oh, easy, you open a door and you walk through it and you're in another world. But you've gone, that's too simple. What I'm going to do is you use your transporter and then you fall 500 feet and die.
Yeah.
So there's a high price for going to another world.
It is.
Anyway, so the kids are trying to steal transporters. The wave of guards open fire, at first just rifles.
Next, cannons.
Yeah, I guess so. No, because next up, that's what the guards are doing. But now we've got a head guard, which seems to me linked to all that restraining of heads that went on earlier, right?
Definitely.
Because they know that if they try and get in Eon without, and those guards, if they don't have the correct passes, someone might restrain their head. So in that world, you're rich, you get yourself a head guard to stop other guards from restraining
your head.
It's
Yeah.
like, right, restrain his head. No, guard his head.
Yes.
The guards are punching each other, and you can run away and use your transporter.
Brilliant.
So a head guard takes out a tagger remote, and soon the kids start exploding, limbs flying. What's wrong with you? Why can't you write a script without kids suffering it? This one's taken it to new extremes because here you're just blowing up kids. The kids start exploding, limbs flying. Like there's some guy going, "Whoa!" So the basically kids are exploding.
Yes.
That's
what we were talking about.
That's literally what's happening at the moment.
I think sometimes when your life's so fucking pedestrian and boring all the time, maybe you want to see a kid explode or go in a balloon. That one.
Of those two, I think we should choose option 2.
Yeah, but we will be dropping bombs on children en route because that's my plan.
Oh yeah, that's the whole point. And also taking some kids up and throwing them out of the balloon.
Yeah, because just losing height, isn't it? That's what balloons do. And you go like, we got to lose some weight. What can we look for to lose? Timmy.
We're gonna hit a mountain, chuck some weight
Get
out,
Sandra.
chuck Timmy out.
God, why have they called that child Sandra?
That's mean. That's abuse. Might as well kill her. All right, where's Twattington? Twattington, he's not got a life ahead of him, has he? All right. I didn't tell you he was a dog. He was a dog. Didn't matter what his fucking name was. He didn't know. Yeah. I just needed an excuse. Brilliant. I called him Twattington because I knew I was going to throw him out of that balloon. I didn't want to waste a good name on him.
Yeah, that's true. But I also wasn't sure whether he could fly or not.
You never know until you throw a dog out of a balloon. You don't know if it can fly.
You don't.
I mean, to be honest, a lot of superheroes in superhero stories, a lot of the time they learn to fly because they're suddenly in a situation where they have to. It's not like they got it. Oh, I'm like standing on the ground and suddenly I fly up.
It's like learning to swim. It's like when your dad throws you in the pool, right?
That doesn't happen to most people, Howard.
Right. So eventually, like, if you've been up in a balloon often enough and thrown enough dogs out, one of them's going to fly, right? One of them's going to go like, roar.
Well, the old saying,
they can fly. I knew it.
As the old saying goes, if you throw enough dogs out of a balloon, one of them will fly.
Yeah. I mean, is that an old saying?
Yeah, that's an old saying.
It's a lie, isn't it? It definitely wouldn't it? I mean, none of them would.
No, the real saying is, if you throw a load of dogs out of balloons, all of them will die.
No, the old saying is like, if you're the type of person that keeps throwing dogs out of a balloon, expecting one of them to fly, it's not going to happen. So you can stop now. You can stop now.
You don't do that. Don't do that. That's bad.
I mean, it's really optimistic and really weirdly sadistic to keep throwing dogs out of a balloon.
It's too
thinking that maybe one of them is going to fly.
Optimism is usually good, but there is a point when it becomes too much.
It needs to be based in reality.
Yeah, if you find yourself in a balloon throwing dogs out because you believe they can fly, you've become too optimistic and you need to dial it back a bit.
Unless you've thrown one and it did. And you just throw in more of them, as if more of them can. I mean, like, in that case,
even then,
it happened once.
I think you're still in the realm of too optimistic.
I don't think so. I think that, like, if an impossible thing happened once, I'd be like, I need to see it again. And I'd be throwing every dog out. I don't care
how many dogs I have to kill to see that another dog.
Until the person who secretly made that dog fly turned around and actually didn't fly. Actually, Howard,
that was a hologram.
Yeah, I had it on a bit of string. I was in a balloon above you.
You killed so many dogs. I was like, I've got to stop
him
somehow.
Little Howard dreamed of being a writer, and so he sat down to every night. But everything he wrote was fucking shite, yeah. Wubba-dubba-doo, wubba-dubba-doo. Worst writer in the world. Worst writer in the world. Worst writer in the world. Worst writer in the world.
Thanks for listening to this episode of The Worst Writer in the World. We hope that you are happy now.
Yeah, because you were really miserable before it started, weren't you?
Yeah, but now you're cheerful because of all that Spac-Man stuff, probably.
Yeah.
If you'd like more, go to patreon.com/manbycow, where you can get an absolutely ridiculous amount of audio and video entertainment by us for as little as $2.
Wow, what a ruddy great bargain. Do remember to like us on whatever social medias we're on, and on iTunes. Like us on iTunes.
Like us on social media. Like us in real life. Come up to us in the street and pat us on the head.
And if you know somebody who's as equally strange as you are, quite frankly, you're a bit weird.
You are so weird.
Why not recommend this show to them?
Why not just tell your followers or friends on social media and say, you know, this show that I never mention but listen to weekly, the one that I never ever speak about but love and laugh at a lot but keep really quiet about, you should check it out, and then you can go back to being quiet again.
Yeah. Don't harass anyone.
No, don't be weird at people. Right? Don't go up to strangers in the street and start like stapling flyers to their heads or anything. Just say to your friends and followers, I like this show, it's really good.
Yeah, exactly.
Then leave it at that. That's just really positive, and then they can choose whether to check it out or not.
Correct.
That's how normal people communicate, isn't it? You could learn something from us, you know.
Yeah, but do that stapling thing. Do that stapling thing, because we've told you not to now. So if you do it, then no one can blame us.
No one can blame us. Okay, all right. Now we've got to run away. Quick, run away and hide from the police. Bye, Milk.
He's a stupid, suck-ass, rubbish writer. Yeah.